was retarded, actually, and sat me with Jimmy Towns, a crack baby, now dead, a car accident. All because I couldn't pronounce my S's, C's, K's, W's, R's, B's, P's, T's, Q's, P's, X's, Y's, and my C's and K's sounded like T's, and T's like D's, and D's like B's, and P's at the end of words just got left off. My N's might as well have been M's, and my W's and R's were L's, and my L's were W's, and no one knew what my Q's sounded like because I refused to say anything with them. I did things slowly and loudly, or swowy and wowly. We were a rowdy group. 4th grade was the year we started swearing, and boy did we. Everything used to stink, now it sucked. We were like little teens. Jerks became bitches, but not girls. That was sexist. Girls were asses. We had this kid Swagger whom no one liked. A real bitch. He was smart and he got good grades, but only by cheating. His mom was some hippie with a compost pile in the basement, and he smelled like worms, and his dad had a furry mustache he got from the 70s that looked like goggles made of mason jars. Swagger was chubby, with a lot of skin tags and moles and freckles, and we laid into him when appropriate. Mr. Bardwell would be in the middle of math. Prime factoring is breaking larger numbers into smaller ones through division. So if we have 4, it can be broken into 2 and 2. What can 9 be broken into? 3. Shut up, Swagger. He got pelted with an eraser. To bribe us into good behavior, Mr. Bardwell used stickers for dollars, and at the end of the year, we had an auction. Every 10 grade points was worth a sticker, and being a top student, I outbid everyone in 5th grade with $200 for a packet of melted M&Ms, fun-sized. He gave us the stickers with each grade, and we had a lot of 10-point reading quizzes. It was a guarantee that I'd get a sticker, but was it fair to only reward me and whoever got lucky that quiz? That was when we learned rounding. If a kid got a 9, of course he'd get a sticker because rounding. 6 is 2. But with 5s, the class was split. Those 5ing idiots argued that it should be rounded up, not because they knew the rounding rules that we had studied 10 minutes ago, but because they wanted a sticker. And the morons, who got 4 or less, didn't want to be the only miserable ones so they argued that 5 was in the middle, so it didn't get rounded. Real morons. Those of us who knew the rule were practical thinkers and rooted for the morons, because if there were less stickers in circulation, ours had more value. And the 6s argued the same because they didn't want their point of hard work to be trivialized by letting a no-good fighter get a sticker. But then the 4s jumped in, saying if you rounded up, wouldn't 1 go to 2 and 2 to 3, and so on, till we all got 100 stickers? They didn't know about infinity. The 4th grade auction came, and we waited until the last hour, foregoing afternoon recess for prizes. Everything was laid out that morning. It tantalized us, vocab word. Stamps and erasers were for the peasants. Most kids wanted scented markers and folders with ponies or kittens. And then what I aimed for, a whole bag of Laffy Taffy. Everyone drooled, but it was decided that I'd get it, and no one else would bother bidding. I'd just outspend them anyway. First we had gym class, though. We ran the mile on patchy grass, and a few people had suspicious doctor notes, forgeries, I suspected, or old notes with the dates changed, because May wasn't the 10th month, nor was the year 1998-9. But the mile was a big deal, and everyone competed for the fastest or the slowest time. I was a speedster at multiplication, but not at running around cones. So Max, the fleetest soccer kid, got done with his 4 laps in 7:40. Accusations of a skipped lap came from Garrett, the kid in 2nd, who'd spent the race drafting him. My time was 24:59, 1 second from a DNF. I got more exhausted cheers than 1st place ever did, possibly because no one was at the finish line waiting for him. Max's energy was spent, but I had plenty left, and when we raced back to the auction, he still won, but I kept up with him. The Laffy Taffy was gone. This was a bigger scandal than the Clinton trial, which we only heard inklings of from parents, but we had strong opinions anyway. It was agreed that Swagger did it, but he'd been in the nurses the whole period, so fingers aimed at Max. He had time. Garrett, 2nd place, was keen on saying the cheater did it and reminded everyone how Max had skipped a lap because the moron couldn't count to 4. Some kids said the mile took me so long since I'd been stealing and snacking, but why would I when I was the one they were meant for? We raged, sweaty, and prepubescent. Around then, we noticed a kid who hadn't taken a side or thrown a finger or chair, and no one knew his name. He was new. I asked loudly and accusatorily, vocab, "What's his name?" The freckled kid wore purple flannel and jeans with a white studded belt. The short black hair had wavy bangs that were dyed brown. The kid made everyone in a Pokemon t-shirt feel shabby, and that was all of us, except Swagger, who liked Digimon. Missy, the kid said. His name? Max teased. She went from the room crying. That's a girl's name. That was a girl, wasn't it? I asked. I felt pretty bad, but I hadn't forgotten my missing Laffy Taffy. Mr. Bargle was adamant he wouldn't proceed with the auction until the thief admitted it, to him, in private, but we requested access to the detention files so we could lynch the bitch. No one admitted anything. Missy came back. During that hour, we watched the laid-out prizes get packed up in the closet, then locked away, then we just sat, with 20 minutes left. We waited for the bell and the oscillating fan. Mr. Bardwell silenced us with his crossed arms. He was a fit guy, and those forearms were hairy and intimidating. No one divulged their guilt, but we planned with our eyes vigilante bus justice on Swagger. The bell rang. We packed our math books in our bags. I wasn't a jerk, and I sure as heck wasn't a bitch, so I went to Missy to apologize. I have a speech impediment. I just mixed up my pronouns. She said thanks and flipped her dyed bangs from her sparkling green eyes. I had a crush immediately. Suddenly, she was the most feminine beauty I'd ever seen, better looking than China and the other WWF divas. Her fashion accentuated her physique, both vocab words. I would have given her my holographic Charizard I'd been keeping to sell for my early retirement. As thanks for making her cry, then saying sorry, she slipped me something. A Laffy Taffy. Torn between my deserved prize and the love of my life, what did I do? Thief! Thief! She's a bloody thief! I just finished Harry Potter. Missy took my Laffy Taffy, I wailed.